Today we're gonna be talking about modifying your trigger group. Now, there's a very small people who have done this, but I did this because my base plate wasn't fitting on when I was making my polymer 80. Not this one, but another one. And the reason being is that my locking rails were not seated properly. So I thought it was the trigger. I'm like, this trigger too tall. So what I did is, let's see, let me zoom in a little bit. See, I shaved down that, which that engages the plunger at the top, and then I bent this down, which engages in the back. And I don't recommend, if it doesn't work with the OEM trigger, everything, then something's wrong. Now, this comes from me. I actually assembled and built this myself. So what turns out the problem was this was sitting too high, and this was sitting cattywampus, so it was a little bit high in the back and low right here, so it had it all messed up, and the slide wasn't even going straight. And I'm like, man, what's holding the slide up? So I just got out my Dremel and I started going crazy. I actually did the back of the slide plate, I did the trigger, and I was like, man, what's going on? So sometimes my trigger wouldn't reset because my plunger wasn't engaging in the trigger. Now I'll show you what that means real quick here. So when the trigger is in the slide, or in the actual mechanism, right, this bar is supposed to press on this, and that that basically lets it know that, hey, the trigger's here. And I don't know what magic it does, but basically it lets them know that it's ready for another round, pretty much. And it's supposed to, you know, be catching on that every time. And I drilled it down so much that it wasn't, and I was getting one shot would go off and then it wouldn't reset. One shot would go off and it wouldn't reset, or sometimes it wouldn't eject. I think that engages the injector. I'm not 100% sure on that, but whatever it's supposed to do, it's supposed to engage with that right there, and it wasn't doing that. And then in addition to that, the sear on the back, which is right here in the actual frame, it's right there. So what that does is it engages with the back of the firing pins right there, and it wasn't engaging with that at all. Moral of the story, if it doesn't work with your OEM trigger and parts, then something is wrong with your assembly and your internals. So reevaluate this, especially if you're building it, but with Glock OEM and stuff like that, like PSA daggers and stuff like that, make sure that it works with OEM parts if it is advertised to work with OEM parts. Anyways, guys, this is a mistake that I made. Don't make this mistake. Learn from my mistake. Do better. Because if you knew better, you would do better. That's all I gotta say for that one. All right, y'all. Peace.